What's up, Comicbook.com? Jamie and I are senior Heroclix correspondent. We're here again to open up some Age of Ultron Heroclix. We did the previous line of these, but I'm not going to act like I know everything about these. That's why Jamie's here. Jamie, tell us what we need to know before we dive into these boxes.
So this is the Age of Ultron storyline OP kit. This is Wave 2. Basically, everything is the same as last time, except all of the figures are different. This will have more Avengers ID cards, we'll have more Ultron figures, more Avengers, and this is what you guys will be busting open and playing with when you go to your local store and play in Age of Ultron events for month 3 and month 4.
So, in other words, everyone's going to be really mad at you when you show up and already have these.
Maybe. Not saying that's not going to happen.
All right, so we're going to bust these open, take a closer look, get them all lined up and whatnot, and we'll be right back.
So much easier.
Okay, everybody, we got them all unboxed, as you saw. We got them all lined up. The first thing that jumped out at me is the sculpts. I think the Thor figure looks awesome. Captain America looks great. We have a really cool Iron Man, Giant Man. We're going to get into those. But Jamie, tell us more of the details, what people really want to know.
Okay, so as far as themes in Wave 2, it's continuing a lot of what was in Wave 1. We've got plenty more Ultrons. We've got this gold Ultron drone. We've got the Spider Ultron drone.
Yeah.
Ultron, I think that's Ultron. That's Ultron 14. So I pulled, I think, 4 different Ultrons here. It also continues the theme of classic Avengers. We've got Miss Marvel, which we'll get into here in a second. Captain America.
Yeah.
There we go. Captain America. We've also got, as he mentioned, that crazy cool looking Thor sculpt.
Check that out. I think that just looks so cool. Everyone has to see these. The sculpts are really, and I really love this War Machine one too.
Yes, that War Machine is
really
pretty great.
cool.
They also threw in some classic Heroes for Hire. We've got the Iron Fist with his crazy popped collar, which you can see here, as well as a Luke Cage, tiara and all. And we've got also some of the Mighty Avengers. We've got White Tiger, we've got the new Power Man, and some deep cuts. There's a character named Machine Teen here. Gonna be honest, I have no idea who that is. But he's got a Spider-Man shirt on, so that works.
We're not here to lie to you.
But what I wanted to talk about first was we pulled some ID cards. I got, let's see, there's Wonder Man, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. And they also continue the theme of Hank Pym's with that new Giant Man, as well as the Yellow Jacket over here. Take a look at that big bad Giant Man sculpt. Oh, it doesn't even fit in frame.
Yeah, he's too big.
Yeah.
Get in there, Giant Man.
Giant Man after
Lay him down.
So we've got the Giant Man, we've got the Yellow Jacket. But I wanted to talk about actually a different Ant-Man, and that's the Scott Lang Ant-Man that we got here, because I know that the Ant-Man movie's opening this weekend.
Which is
Scott
awesome,
Lang.
by the way. Go see it.
And as part of that, they are doing the special Ant-Man micro tournaments this weekend, where you compete to win the Scott Lang Ant-Man, one of these ID cards. So I wanted to show you a little bit of what the figure that you can call in with that ID card can do. So he's got Avengers, Defenders, Fantastic Four, and Scientist and Armor keywords. And he ignores characters entirely for movement. Let me throw this card in here a little bit so you can kind of see that he's got a trait there. The trait has a very cool name, riding on Hawkeye's arrow. There's actually, I think it's Avengers number 164 is the issue where the cover is him literally riding on Hawkeye's arrow. So that's really cool.
It's awesome.
So what the trait does says, when an adjacent friendly character that shares a keyword with Ant-Man makes a ranged combat attack, after actions resolve, you may place Ant-Man adjacent to the target. So that is super useful. He's got tiny size, so any Avenger or Fantastic Four member or Defender who can make a ranged combat attack, Hawkeye's the obvious example, but Iron Man, whoever, can running shot up, carry Ant-Man at basically no extra cost, and then shoot somebody, and after you shoot that guy, Ant-Man goes up next to him and ties him up. So not only have you damaged your opponent, but now he has to deal with Ant-Man and try and get out of his way before he can retaliate.
Wow.
For 65 points, I think that's really cool, especially when he's also got a dial that packs Outwit, as well as some stealth and combat reflexes and super sense. Actually, super sense is then combat reflexes, so he's hard to hit too. So he's not just going to get knocked out by whoever you put him next to either. So that's cool. That's really cool. Now I really want one of those ID cards. Let's move him out of the way and go back to one of those classic Avengers we talked about, which is Miss Marvel.
Boom.
Boom. Now, we've seen some modern Captain Marvel versions of Carol Danvers recently, and those have been really cool as well. But this one harkens back to her very early days as a superhero. Slide this out. As you can see here, again, 2 traits on her. She's 170 points. She's got the Avengers, Kree, and Soldier keywords. Her first trait is Sixth Sense. When attacked by a ranged combat attack, when targeted by a ranged combat attack, Miss Marvel can use super senses. A little dodgy. And then energy absorption. This one's a little bit more complicated. When Miss Marvel reduces damage, and she'll have plenty of opportunities with impervious, invulnerability, and toughness on her dial. When Miss Marvel reduces damage, place an energy token on this card. Give Miss Marvel a free action and remove any number of energy tokens from this card. When you do, modify that many of her combat values by +1 until your next turn, if not already modified by this effect. So, the more your opponent piles on to Miss Marvel, and they're probably going to because at 170 points, she is kind of a tentpole, the more they pile onto her, the more that's going to come back to haunt them later, because if they hit her 4 different times, and she reduces all of those because none of them are penetrating, maybe even ignores all of it with their impervious, suddenly she's got +1 to basically all of her stats the next turn to come back and hit back and retaliate. So I think that's a really cool trait for a tentpole like this to have. She's also got some hypersonic speed, charge, sidestep, super strength, as I mentioned, impervious, invulnerability, and toughness, and her damage power, she has a special power that gives her empower, enhancement, leadership, and when the character targets Miss Marvel or a friendly character of a lower point value within 4 squares, with Outwit or Perplex, you can roll a d6, and on a 4 through 6, you ignore that effect. I'm gonna throw that in the zoomed area here because I know that was a mouthful. So for 170 points, she gets stronger when people hit her, and anyone within 4 suddenly has Outwit and Perplex protection. So that's exactly the kind of work I want a tentpole figure like this to do. So that's really cool. That's really powerful. And when she loses that, she then gets exploit weakness to come back and hurt whoever hurt her. So that's really cool. I like this figure a lot.
Sounds like a really, really kick-ass figure. So which one are we going to look at next here?
All right, so AntMan was an uncommon. That Miss Marvel is a super rare. I want to take a look at one of the other super rares we grabbed, which is that Iron Man there.
Yeah, this one looks awesome.
Yes, he is actually Iron Man 2020, and he is 202 points. So he's going to be kind of a bruiser, take up a lot of your team. I'll show you this. He also has 2 traits, so let me slide this card in here real quick for you to take a look at. All right, so he has one of his first trait is advanced weapons and shielding. Iron Man 2020 can use energy shield deflection and force blast. So energy shield deflection traded is great on a range piece anyway. That force blast is also going to be important here in a moment. Should mention he also has 7 range and 2 bolts. Warfare is the other trait. Once per turn, when Iron Man 2020 KOs an opposing character and actions resolve, he may make a closer ranged combat attack as a free action. So he knocks people out and then just keeps going. He has a special damage power that is Arsenal of Weapons and Max Power. Iron Man 2020 can use Energy Explosion and Penetrating Psychic Blast. Now, anybody who's used the Mandarin's Power Plant resource in this game knows that Energy Explosion and Psychic Blast is a crazy combo where you can do tons of damage to any grouped up group of enemies. And remember that he also has traded Force Blast, which means that after you blast them all with damage they can't reduce in this giant area effect, they're all going to go flying back into walls and off of elevated terrain and all that fun stuff too. So he's 202 points. It's pretty pricey, but he packs quite a punch if you can catch your opponent grouped up. He's also got running shot and stealth, precision strike, impervious, invulnerability, probability control, ranged combat expert, and shape change on his dial. So again, costs a lot. He also has flight and indomitability, so costs a lot, but packs a lot as well. So really cool figure, especially in higher points games.
All right, so if you want to see these figures, guys, we'll have a full gallery at Comicbook.com. They're available at your local store. You have to play to win them, unless you're Jamie, who's going to show up and kick your butt already having them.
I'm that guy, apparently.
He is that guy, our senior Heroclix correspondent. At Jamie Levitt on Twitter, at Brandon Davis BD. Make sure you subscribe to Comicbook.com's YouTube channel. Leave your questions in the comment section and follow Comicbook.com on Twitter at Comicbook.com. How easy is that? For more unboxings, news, so you don't miss anything. We'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching.